Monday marks 1 year since the October 7th Hamas terror attacks on Israel. Over this last year, the Israeli bombing and invasion of Gaza has exacted a terrible price on Gaza's people, with an estimation that 1 out of every 20 people has been killed or wounded. NewsHour videographer Shams Odeh in Gaza worked with producer Zeba Varsi and Nick Schifrin to bring us this report on a year in hell.
To this day, Mohammed Mahdi Abu al-Qumsan cannot fathom his incomprehensible loss. He walks us into his threadbare home and life. A donated canvas shelter with sorrowful reminders, the doll that will never be held, the clothes that will never be worn.
I don't even have one photo of me and my children. I had only left the house to get their birth certificates. I ended up getting their death certificates too.
In August, horror. His wife of 1 year, her body under the shroud, her name in pen, Dr. Jumana Arfa, and 3-day-old Asr and Aysel, the family says all killed in an Israeli airstrike. In Gaza today, death can arrive as life begins, and photos of births are the only photos he'll ever have.
I was excited to leave the hospital to go and show my wife the birth certificates because she chose their names. Only 5 minutes later, I started the process to get their death certificates.
Arfa was a pharmacist at a private clinic. Their twins were their firstborn. And like everyone here in the last year, the family fled from multiple homes, first from Gaza City to Rafah, and then back to Deir al-Balah in search of unobtainable safety. On Facebook, Arfa used to write about the war's victims until she became one.
I need a court of law to find how a woman who was living in a safe home, who had recently given birth, was killed in this way. Children are not at fault. We're merely civilians. We're not involved in other activities. Don't we deserve to live in peace, without fear?
But Gaza is stalked by fear and dominated by death. The Abed kids, Hala, Khazal, Mohammed, and Salma, are among tens of thousands of orphans adopted by their uncle after his brother, their father, Majdi, was killed last October.
Majdi was my brother, my friend, my everything. I was devastated.
The siblings survived by chance. Their mother unknowingly saved them.
We were at home, and then my mom asked us to go get her something from the store. When we came back, we found the entire area destroyed.
They're grateful to have a place to live, but what she really wants to have is her parents back. We ask, do you miss them? This war started 1 year ago when Hamas gunmen took over swaths of southern Israel and killed 812 civilians and more than 400 security personnel. Israel has pursued what it calls absolute victory over Hamas, with a punishing air and ground campaign to eradicate Hamas and return the hostages. It blames civilian deaths on Hamas.
Hamas places its weapons, its terrorists, in hospitals, schools, mosques, and throughout civilian areas. They do this in order to win immunity and to maximize civilian casualties.
Gaza's health ministry, which answers to Hamas, says 140,000 people, or more than 5% of the Gaza Strip, have been killed or wounded. 900 families wiped off entirely from the civil registry, and in more than 1,300 cases, only one family member survived, creating the macabre label, "Wounded Child, No Surviving Family." But all the numbers may yet prove an undercount.
There are 8,000 to 10,000 martyrs missing since the beginning of these attacks.
Dr. Khalil al-Dakran works at Central Gaza's Al-Aqsa Hospital, one of the few hospitals still functioning. He helps the health ministry publish its daily death toll, 90% of whose names have been confirmed. It's a painstaking effort because many of Gaza's more than 2 million displaced don't have IDs.
In the case of those martyred who are not identified in hospitals, we take several steps like asking questions of the families. Many times, people who come to the hospital have no identification, since occupation forces destroyed their homes and whatever was in it.
And destruction breeds despair. 4-year-old Ragad Ismail Al-Houli holds her father tight, hoping he can heal her. But Ismail Al-Houli feels helpless. He can only provide comfort, no cure. Ragad Al-Houli has cancer, tumors, under both eyes that cause severe pain.
I feel like my heart is being ripped apart. I wish I could do something for her. I swear I cannot. I swear I can't do a thing.
Like any sick child, cartoons distract until her eyes feel strained. So her best chance for treatment is outside, but the outside world is almost completely inaccessible.
Consider her like one of your daughters. If we delay her treatment anymore, it could lead to her blindness. She was a smart girl. She'd run and play. But ever since getting the tumor, she's changed completely. Completely changed.
1 year later, Gazans' infrastructure and lives are unrecognizable. They've lived through multiple wars, but after this one, nobody will be the same. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.
On Monday, Nick will speak with families of Israeli hostages and with a released hostage looking back on this traumatic year in their own words.